I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Today, the government said that political dynasties create inequality between public and government. They create an asymmetrical power distributions and also limiting social participation within democracy. Some people might see those perceptions as a current condition for some nations. How can we make things clearly if we only see them from a bad perspective? If we see it from another perspective, which is the positive perspective, nation that adheres to a democratic political system use the system of voting to choose their leader of nations, right? Or people who represent their nations. Democracy is all about a choice. A person can win because they have the most voters. Political dynasties are not the problem, but the problem is the governance. What matters in democracy is not a family background, but a public trust. Earlier, the government mentioned that these political dynasties bring a symmetrical power distribution among society. Not all of the candidates that have a blood-related family who is standing in political fields using an unfair campaign that the government mentioned earlier. For promoting themselves, it is not always the family-related or non-dynasty people who does that unfair campaign. Everyone does that, within an exception. Even ordinary people who have zero political experience or the one who just have entered the world of politics. The problem with this case is the regulation of an election, not the family background of the candidates. Democracy allows people to choose. The continuation of a political family in power doesn't necessarily mean undemocratic. If a candidate from a political dynasty wins fairly through the election, then that reflects the will of the people, not an abuse of the system. Talking about the equality between government and public that the government also mentioned is earlier, people have a will to vote which candidate is right to represent their nations. Dynasties is not always about nepotism. It's an advantage for those candidates who have a family with a political related or a political background. They have known policies that apply on the nations because their family works in political fields. So it's a daily basis conversation for that candidates to know what's happening on the country so that they can rule the country or the nation better. And they have political experience firsthand because of course their family already teach them how to treat a right nation and how to make the nation being better than before. And they also get a better education access, strong political network, and they are already an expert that can lead the nation better. But in case if they are not taking their responsibilities, people also have a will to not voting them. So for me, don't eliminate a person's right to run based on family. Voters can reject dynasties when they fail. It's not about the family, but it's just about the system and those unclear assumptions. And these political dynasties is not limiting social participation within democracy. Just because a political dynasty is in power in a country with democratic backsliding doesn't mean the dynasty caused it. Dynasties can promote stability and trust. Even in some countries, political dynasties have provided continuity of governance, policy follow-through, and reduced political fragmentations. Voters may support them not because of fear, but because of familiarity, consistent service, and proven leadership. Participation is not just about who runs, but also who votes. And here is my two main arguments. Firstly, someone wins the politics because people choose them. If someone from a political dynasty is elected, it is because the people voted for them, of course. That is how democracy works. Just because a person's last name is familiar, doesn't mean the election is unfair, doesn't mean their family helped them for winning that election. No, that statement is absolutely not true. In fact, many voters support dynasties because they already know their track record, their improvement, and their performance on work before. They have seen what the family has done for the region, for the nation, and they feel more confident trusting someone who's been raised around politics. Because, as I said before, of course, the person who comes with a political background knows how to operate politics and know and a lot of information and have a lot of knowledge about politics more than someone who is not born in a political family. Because it's becoming their daily routine to talking about politics and do things in a political way. If a dynasty messes up, people can vote them out. So don't vote them again and again if the leadership or the performance is not good enough. So blaming dynasties for being in power is like blaming a celebrity for being famous. If the people wants them and vote them, they get elected. Yeah, that's all. My second argument is being born into politics doesn't automatically make you bad. So we shouldn't punish someone just because they are born into a political family. That's like saying a doctor's child cannot be a doctor's child. That's not how we should think. Imagine you born in a family who is work in medical fields. So of course, from you are a little, your parents or your family already talk about medical things, and you grow up know about all of the things about medical, and it makes you being a better person on a medical field too, or maybe you have a bigger chance or bigger opportunity to work in medical fields just because you know how it works in a first hand. In fact, many people from dynasties grow up seeing how government works firsthand. They have sat through meetings, have a lot of political relations, and seen the impact of public service since they were young. They can make them more prepared, more skilled, and even more passionate about helping people. Also, let's be real, it's not like everyone else who runs is an angel. Corruption, incompetence, or repression can come from anyone, dynasty or not. Like, normal people can also do that. So instead of blocking dynasties, we should focus on making sure elections are fair, media is free, and public voices are heard. That's what keeps some democracy or an election healthy. At the end, democracy is indeed about fairness, but a family dynasty does not mean that it was an assumption of fairness. By that, I am very proud to oppose this motion.